In a breakthrough, the US Senate advanced a funding bill after weeks of gridlock between the Democrats and the Republicans. This came as the first step towards ending the 40-day US government shutdown, the longest in history. In a procedural vote, senators advanced a House-passed bill that will be amended to fund the government until January 30th and include a package of 3 full-year appropriations bills. If the Senate eventually passes the amended bill, the package still must be approved by the House of Representatives and sent to President Donald Trump for his signature. Under a deal struck with a group of Democrats, Republicans agreed to a vote in December on extending subsidies under the Affordable Care Act. The deal was brokered by 2 New Hampshire Democrat senators, and Maggie Hassan and Jean Shaheen, and Angus King, an independent from Maine, the person said. The Senate Minority Leader Chuck Schumer, the chamber's top Democrat, voted against the measure. All right, DD India's Jessica Taneja has been tracking this story. She joins us live from the newsroom. Hi, Jessica. End of shutdown in sight as Senate advances the bill. Tell us, how significant is this step in terms of actually ending the shutdown, and also what does shutdown mean for federal employees who are furloughed or working without pay?
Well, there have been hundreds and thousands of furloughed workers who were waiting for this news as to what kind of agreement, bipartisan agreement that the senators would come to. And on Sunday, after that crucial vote, after overcoming the filibuster that was preventing that vote of agreement, it will, of course, as your report also pointed out, that it will be again voted in the House, and it needs to get that approval. But with this initial agreement, there is a certain sigh of relief, but also factionalism within the Democrats who are not in agreement with the 8 Democrats that have agreed to offer that support to the Republicans. And this certainly has been expressed by not just the Senate Minority Leader, but also other Democrats like Elizabeth Warren, who has said that this would certainly undermine the Democrats' demands of extension of subsidies for the Affordable Care Act. And as health insurance costs are going up, it is becoming increasingly difficult for Americans to continue on this path where the government has been shut down for the longest it has been in the history of this country. And that continues to pressure not just federal agencies, but also other departments which are facing continued pushback and also delay of flights, and the common people that are getting affected by it every day. And when you talk about furloughed workers, in 2019, a law was passed which would ensure their back pay in case the US government shuts down. So a lot of considerations are being put in place. But when it comes to this agreement, the Republicans have not even promised a vote on extension of those subsidies of the Affordable Care Act, which was the key demand of the Democrats. But at the same time, the Democrats have still caved, especially those 8 Democrats who said that not having anything and continuing with the shutdown was harming the interest of their constituencies more than what they had initially thought of, and the negotiations could not continue on such fraught moments.
Right, so this is the timeline that we are showing you. But again, Jessica, also tell us the key points that still remain in negotiations.
Well, the key demands, as I pointed out, from the Democrats is to extend those Affordable Care Act subsidies, because health insurance costs are going up. The subsidies would expire before this year ends, and that's certainly what the Republicans don't want to do. The Republicans want to give that money, which the Democrats are demanding for health insurance, to average Americans, given the cost of living crisis and also the rising inflation, because of which the American people have been affected in the recent past, and also add to that tariffs that have troubled the common person, the common man in America, and certainly hurting the pockets. But on the other end, there are also contentions, and with US President Donald Trump, giving funds to certain federal agencies, which was earmarked for research and development purposes, and that has been criticized by the lawmakers in America, saying that was abuse of power of the president and not constitutionally valid as well, because there are certain measures and safeguards and checks and balances that prevent the president and the constitutional authorities that be to move around federal funds. So that is one point of contention. But for the Democrats in majority, they are set to oppose the deal that collectively was to ensure that the Democrats, in fact, do tend to get the Affordable Care Act subsidies, but the Republicans certainly do not want that at this point. And that is where it still remains, and more uncertainty surrounds this entire issue that has been faced by America, and the shutdown continues. But with the 60 vote, the Republicans have secured at least a certain momentum in that direction where we could see an end to a shutdown. But with the Democrats, again, before the vote is taken place, there could be a change, but not much can be said about how all of this is being played out and the kind of negotiations that have been going on. But what you see right now is the Democrat factionalism, which will also further prevent a clear and a hopeful negotiation that would, in the end, benefit the people of America.
Absolutely. The vote to advance bill passed by a 60-40 margin, and next few days, like Jessica said, would be very, very crucial. We'll leave it at that. Thank you for inputs, Jessica.